so sick of this weekend. I don't even want to.
Welcome back to This Takes the Cake. I'm Dallas.
You almost say I'm Stohon.
I almost said I'm Stohon.
That's Dallas and I'm Stohon.
And
we're back.
And we're back. We haven't been together in a hot minute.
I was going to say, wait, has it been since Undercover?
Yeah, probably.
That was like
There's
over
so
a year
people.
ago. So you can see our glow ups.
Mm-hmm. Today we're going to be talking about trend prediction and what we think's coming for 2026, even into 2027, or what we just have been seeing a lot of lately.
Yeah. Even for some of our fall weddings, because I feel like there's a lot of trends that we're seeing for our fall weddings that like we haven't seen in our spring, and you know what I mean. So.
I agree. So we've done this before. We've done this episode before about a year ago.
Yeah.
I think I did it with Caroline.
Probably.
And I want to like recap what we thought were trends and they actually were. So I only remember a few, but they were trends that I think they're going out. Yeah. Which I think is interesting how fast everything moves.
Oh, yeah, especially with like social media now and how big it is.
It's crazy. Like a celebrity will do something and all of a sudden it's either in or out, or like, you know, everyone in your friend circle from home does the same thing, and then you're like, oh, I'm not doing that. So it just it gets beat out. And especially in our location, like people see other people's weddings and they'll either want to copy it or they'll want to do something completely opposite.
Oh, yeah. They'll go on our blog and they're like, I want that.
Or they're like, everyone does that. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, okay, girl. And then they'll come up with something and I'll have to pretend like I've never heard of it before and it's new and innovative. Just kidding. Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
We'll talk about one of my brides who's like super cool and ahead of the trends.
Okay.
Soon,
For the fall?
Yes. Okay. So last year we predicted bows being super in, and this was like really early in the beginning. Yeah. And I think at that point I had only had one bow bride.
So you predicted this early of 2025.
Maybe even the end of 2020.
I was going to say
last year was 2024.
That's what I meant.
So 2023, I think.
Okay.
Towards the end of 2023, we predicted it because my first bow bride was in 2023.
They were definitely in last year, but they
tapered out into like normal people. Yeah, fashion.
Come like early spring this year, I think they died out.
Yeah.
Now it depends. I mean, I still see some people do it, but it's more subtle.
It's more subtle, and it's also like we're in the South, and I think that bows have always been and will always be a little bit of a thing. Yeah. Even just doing a satin bow as an aisle marker instead of like, we were having like bow installations. Like we were having the ice.
Was it too loud?
She's drinking, for our listeners that aren't watching, she's drinking her coffee.
Okay, I'll hide it.
And we were doing like bows on the cake, bows on the champagne glasses, bows on the table setting. Like bows were everywhere, and I think they're slowly
Now I don't think again, like if you do it subtle, and I don't think it's like ugly per se, but like
I can't see anyone doing like a massive amount of bows anymore.
I just think it's overdone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably come back in a few years. Give it like 3 years and it'll come back.
Projected was disco balls. I think they're slowly tapering out, but also they're a pretty like universal, obviously dance vibe. So again, what I mean by that is like they might not be your focal point anymore, whereas they used to be like, oh, there's going to be disco balls dripping off of the head table. Yes. Like there's going to be disco balls in my florals. Yeah. Whereas now it's more like, okay, it's for dancing only. Yeah. It's in the ceiling of the tent. You might not notice it till you're on the dance floor.
Right.
I do love having pin spots on them. I think that's a really cool vibe.
Yes.
Which everyone should do if they can.
I love pin spots.
Me too. Tell them what pin spots are, sis.
It's kind of like what it sounds like. It's basically it's basically like a spotlight, but people have done it. So like if you have a super huge cake or just a cake in general that you want to like focus on, it's a spotlight, but essentially like a pin spotlight.
Yeah, you can put them anywhere throughout the
and you can focus it on anything throughout the tent, and it just highlights that, because obviously when it's dark, there's, if the cake's not highlighted by a light. You can't see it. So it just makes it stand out.
A lot of weddings outdoors in places that that have light restrictions. So like Brook Green, they don't have lights around the gardens because they have animals and like nature and everything. So it is dark out there. And a wedding that Sarah McCall just did, we had pin spots doing exactly that and it looked really good and really purposeful because otherwise it might be overlooked. So. But
it's something that you wouldn't necessarily notice, like unless you work in this industry or you know like lighting. But it does make a difference. Like we did.
I'll talk to brides about it and they're like, why would I need that? And it's hard to like convey how much of a difference it makes to them. But in 2026, 2025, 2026, pin spots.
Yeah.
Didn't know we were going to get there. And then another thing that we projected, I don't remember. We'll move on. It'll come back.
But those were two big ones, though.
Those were two big ones that we saw a lot of, and we're also seeing taper out. So,
for sure.
First thing I want to hop into is, of course, colors. This is
something I had that on my list.
Yeah, so this is something that's the first thing you think of when you're starting your wedding planning. What are my colors going to be? Because this is involved in, like, your invitations, your design, your bridesmaids' colors. I mean, it kind of like sets the tone for a lot of things. Oh, yeah. So do you want to take it away?
Yeah, so I kind of have multiple things that touch on color. Yeah. One thing, I'm kind of like going whatever in different directions, but I've seen this a lot on TikTok too, is that grooms specifically do colorful suits. Oh. That's just like a colorful note I had, but
I don't know if I like that.
Well, not colorful.
I need to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely not been like, you know, a bright orange suit, but colorful, like, because you have the classic like black and white, but I've seen, so that's, you know,
I do love a dark maroon suit.
I did also have a note about, this kind of goes again into colors, stripes. I've seen a lot of stripes.
Stripes are so, and especially with the whole, like Amalfi Coast, anthropology vibe that's been really in lately, like the oranges, and we wanted to talk about that too, and we'll talk about it more. Fruits coming into play.
Yes, I have that,
which is so fun. Yeah, but just like stripes and like those kind of raw lines, like not super clean and polished.
No, I love it. I love a stripe.
Me too.
Of anything.
Yeah, I love like a raw edge of anything. So like raw wood, raw. Yeah, it's a lot of texture, I think, is coming into play with design.
Yeah, and I also had, again, with like colors, we have a lot of brides, you know, for fall, and also most importantly 2026 and spring next year, whatever, is mixing patterns and linens. Yeah. Because I feel like I've seen in the past where
you have like one linen.
Yeah, or people are almost kind of like not scared, but like
they're scared.
They don't, you know, they don't know where to go with like, okay, well, will this linen look good with this linen? Or like try to stick to a white linen and like one pattern. And I've seen a lot of our like layouts, and of course I'm the linen queen in the office, so I see all the linens.
Yeah. And we're really pushing for mixing patterns.
It's so fun. It's like people have like 3 different linens, and you're bringing in like,
you don't have to have every table with a specialty linen, but bringing in different patterns helps, like with the florals, it brings out different parts of those things that you work so hard on. You might as well highlight them. And
I love it. Like I love
I love patterns, and
it makes it so fun.
It does. It makes it
even
personal.
I've seen a lot where people bring in super fun linens and crazy, you know, kind of patterns and colors, but they'll go a little bit lower with like the florals in terms of like,
it doesn't
you know, not
conflict.
crazy on crazy. So
I agree.
I've seen that a lot.
You wrote this down, and I added to it because I have a theory.
For colors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Okay, so she has a good point. Green is the new blue.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And then I wrote red is the new green.
Yes.
Okay. What we mean by that is that blue is such a safe color for weddings. It's classic,
especially down here because we're in South Carolina.
Yeah, but it is like classic. It's universal. Even a lot of my friends back in Texas are doing blue. Like we see it in Chicago. We see it everywhere, and it's timeless.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's pretty. Like
it's pretty.
But it's
classic for a reason.
It's done.
However, I think that green is becoming the new blue. There's so many shades of green to play with.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like green.
Me too. And I probably would have said the same thing when blue was like really blooming. But I think green is kind of outshadowing it. It's still a neutral color. So groom, like I know some brides, shout out to Cecily. She was really sweet about wanting pink in her wedding. She was like, I hope that Patrick's okay with it. He had no opinion at all. He was just wanted Cecily to be happy. But she was very cautious about pink. And then I know some brides are just hesitant to do different colors because they're like, well, it's his day too. And I don't want it to be overwhelming, blah, blah. But now it's like, who cares? If this is your personality,
like if you like it, you like it. And it's literally one day where it's all about you. It's all about like
who you
what
are,
you like. Like who cares if grandma doesn't like that you have a classic black and white wedding, which I always love those, but
so green is kind of taking over blue, and then I put down that red is the new green.
Which I could totally
So green used to be the safe alternative for blue brides if they wanted to be a little different and
or they would do like blue and green.
They'll do blue and green, or they'll go into the green world. And now I think that red is becoming the new green because I'm seeing a lot of people who start like they're seeing these really rich luxe feeling weddings, and they have a lot of red or deeper tone colors like violets and these like jewel tones almost, especially for the fall. And
I was gonna say like almost
I'm getting
like
a lot of
moody.
red.
I was gonna say that.
Very moody.
And not even just like because people are probably thinking like a bright, like fire hydrant red, but like different shades of red. And I'm seeing also a lot of like mauve and almost like not purple, but into like almost like the plum shade.
Yes, yeah.
Because I have one bride that's doing the greens, but she's also doing like I think she has mauve linens, and she's pretty. Kind of touching into like the red side without being like
too
like
red roses.
Yeah,
I'm not a big red rose person. No. I've always been turned off by that. I think it's classic, but it's also like overdone.
Yeah.
But this is a different kind of red. You guys don't get it. Look it up on Pinterest.
But I agree with that.
Yeah.
So going into that, because my November bride, you brought it up earlier about fruits.
Yes.
And I love it. And I had actually only seen it like once until she brought it up. And she was like, she showed me her Pinterest board, and we have aisle planner that we use where you can kind of put your Pinterest board into there. And she showed me the fruits, and I was like, wait, this is like really cool.
It is really cool.
And
speaking of textures and adding things to your centerpieces that can flow out and make it look more extravagant without breaking the budget. Fruits and vegetables. Even Lydia, who I was going to talk about later. So she's one of my really creative brides that I have right now, and she's so fun to work with. And she's the first one to kind of introduce that to me as well, or at least want to do it, because I had seen it on Pinterest and stuff, and I was excited about it. But she's even doing tomatoes and like herbs in her arrangements.
That's so cool though.
Yeah, no, it's so cool.
And as long as it's subtle, because I like my personal opinion, you don't want to overdo it and for it to look like almost like a charcuterie board.
Yeah, you don't want your guests to be confused.
Or they could be like, oh, like, do I eat this type thing? But like if it's subtle and it flow, like you said, it flows well with the florals, and even having like fun lemons and limes into it on the bar, like I love it.
Like
I think it's
the
cool.
Amalfi Coast vibe is in, the Greece vibe is in, bringing it here.
Yeah.
And citrus goes hand in hand with that. So
so
it all,
you said
it all comes together.
Lydia's doing tomatoes.
So tomatoes, like darker red fruits, because she's doing a red.
I think I've seen her layout.
And dark burgundy.
And I like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's
like the greens and the.
Yeah. Pretty much any idea that I've had or she's had, it's been so fun. Like even her seating chart's going to be really different and cool. Good. She's just really up with it. And I think that having an open mind going into wedding planning is fun, because you can so easily have your cousin's wedding just 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
Or like so easily get stuck in like what my mom's always wanted for me. Okay, well,
because we've had it a lot where, like you said, brides have an open mind, or they kind of come in and be like, hey, I think this is what I want, but I'm open to things. And then you show them things and they're like, wait, I've like never thought of that. I've never seen those patterns with each other. I've never thought of fruit. Like, I love when they come in with that.
Me too.
Mindset.
Speaking of colors, Stohon has projected this for months now. And
I know what you're gonna say, but
this is definitely spring.
Yes.
A spring trend.
Yeah.
Yellow.
I knew you were going to say that.
Stohon's all over the yellow. We had multiple yellow weddings, or at least yellow bridesmaids throughout the spring. And I think we're just seeing more and more of it. I'm seeing a lot of celebrity weddings with yellow incorporated, a lot more florals with yellow incorporated. I'm not talking like sunflowers. There's like really cool flowers and even greenery.
Even like bringing in the oranges, kind of like Mary Claire's wedding.
Oh my God.
Bringing it, because if you told me like a year ago that yellows and even like a little bit of oranges were going to be like trendy, quote unquote, I would have been like, what? Because I'm not the biggest yellow person. I don't, it's not my favorite color.
It has to be a very specific shade of yellow for me to even wear it, because otherwise I can look like a full yellow. Like my hair is yellow, my body's yellow, you know what I mean?
But yeah, I think that was definitely the spring color. I don't necessarily think it's going to go into fall that much, just because it's like, it's the fall.
It's the light butter yellow, and I don't think that really translates into fall. But it's coming back in the spring for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That said, back to Mary Claire. Speaking of like seeing her colors for the first time,
because we haven't got to talk about her wedding like on the podcast.
So Stohon and I did a wedding in New Orleans.
So fun.
And I'm pretty familiar with New Orleans. I grew up in Texas, so we would go there for little like staycation kind of things.
It was my first time there.
It was Stohon's first time there. And it was so much fun. And I think that Mary Claire, our bride, she just encompassed everything about New Orleans so well. She designed everything herself, like all of the paper goods, and it was a really fun doodle style. Yes. But also like pretty accurate. It wasn't like abstract or anything. On her invitations, she had alligator.
She had like an alligator that had like, I forget what it had on it.
I think it had her RSVP on it.
Yeah, and it looked so cool.
And he was wearing little star sunglasses, or maybe that was her dog.
There was that too, yeah. On the koozies, and the koozies were like greens and oranges
and light blue.
And again, if you told me that before this wedding, like
even when we saw her layout and saw the linen she chose, I was like, huh. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. And then seeing the linens in person, I was stunned. They were beautiful.
Yes, and all the colors, like she just had an eye for that stuff, because I feel like sometimes I see linens, I'm like, this will look good together, and then I'm like, what was I thinking?
No, she definitely inspired me to like get even more quirky and weird and like push people to do more. It was so fun. And it didn't translate as quirky or weird. It translated as, this is New Orleans. A lot of her family was not from there, so they got like a good taste of what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I think that's another trend too, is not just, doing what's on trend or what you see on Pinterest, but doing what fits your venue. Yeah. You might be somewhere that it doesn't look good if you're doing those bright reds and everything because you're on the coast, or fitting things to your style. I'd say that with houses too. If you're living in a 1920s home, maybe look into like that era of furniture or whatever. Exactly. So this is like more on the guest experience side, which I definitely wanted to touch on. Another thing that Mary Claire did, she did quite a few things to heighten the guest experience. She had so many
just fun little things that I would have never thought to have.
Yeah. So in New Orleans, it's traditional to do a second line, which is where you follow the brass band around the block or downtown or wherever you want to go, wherever your wedding is. You do like a big block around, and that's like a preview to cocktail hour. So it's part of your cocktail hour right after ceremony. Yeah. And as everyone left, they got a drink with a koozie on it, like a custom koozie, and then we were handing out glitter pots. So tell them about glitter pots.
So it kind of looks like a little, if you know anything about makeup, it looks like a little like eyebrow dip thing.
Pot, yeah.
And I mean, it's super small, but it's like a tiny little piece of, it's not glue, but it's like,
I mean, what you'd use in cheer, if anyone ever did cheer and you had to put it in your hair or like on your collarbones or whatever.
Yeah, it's like body, pretty much glitter. Like body glitter.
Yes, and it was just
like
a little
stick
dab.
It here. Yeah,
and everyone kind of put it on their cheeks,
so
on their heads. Like, even the bride and groom put it on each other, and it was just kind of like to signify, okay, the serious stuff's over. It's time to party.
Yes,
and it was really fun for everyone to do together. The photos are so cool with everyone with their glitter on.
And each glitter pot had, I think, the same like dog with the star sunglasses logo. I actually took a glitter pot, and I still have it. I have it in my S&B purse. And the other day a few weeks ago, I was working a wedding, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh, and she had the handkerchiefs.
Yes.
Or the hankies, or whatever you want to call them.
So her mom hand-stitched. So cute. This is such a fun giveaway present, especially if you are doing a second line, or even if you're Carolina fans, because they do sandstorm with the white napkins or the white towels.
Even if it's hot. Like, it was so hot, so people were definitely using
they were using their hankies. Her mom hand-stitched their initials and the date into each handkerchief, and we gave it to guests in her, what was it? The programs.
Yes.
Which her programs were also very innovative. It was like a program suite.
Mm-hmm.
So it had like the program of the actual wedding, and then tied to that was the handkerchief, and then another little card that said, I forgot what it said. Did it say something about the history of the second line or something like that?
It might, but it was
no
really
one,
cute.
Only the groom's family like was familiar with New Orleans traditions and Louisiana traditions, and so she kind of had to educate the North Carolina and South Carolinians that were there, and as they were going, we were like, okay, now you walk around the block, go. Yes. And they're like, what?
I know, but
like, get a drink and go.
Yeah, and like just little touches like that. Like we both took a hanky, and I still have it in my S&B purse. Yeah, and when I see it, I'm like, aw. I know, like, same. And every little embroider or stitch that the mom did was, you know, the different colors, and so like every one that you got was, you know, unique. And then another fun thing they had a live poet. Yes. And I'm pretty sure he's from that area. His name was Cubs. Cubs the poet. And he was so nice. He was so down to earth. Yeah. And we had him in this little room. I think it was actually, he was in the cigar room. Yes. Is what it was called. And he literally had an old fashioned typewriter, and
he would bring people in.
Yeah, and I think it worked where they told him a topic, and then he just literally there live writes a poem,
and then the guests gives it to you afterwards. Yeah. It was really cool for the guests, and it was an area where people walked through but might not necessarily know something's in there. Yeah. And then they look and they're like, why is there a guy with a typewriter? They found out it's a poet.
It was very intimate. It was like a dimly lit room, like, you know, the doors could close, so it's like if you want to like
have a love
tell him something, he would, you know, type it up.
She also was really cool. And this is something we see pretty regularly for guest experience, late night food, but instead she did a coffee cart, and I loved that. Having some coffee.
I think I had gotten some, and it was really good.
It's a long day. So everyone's gonna
want
iced some coffee.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. We see that with like the Bojangles truck, Krispy Kreme, the
ice cream
McDonald's,
truck,
whatever. Bringing
Chick-fil-A,
that personal touch
people
in.
Brought in like Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Yeah, they try to incorporate something that they love and like go to often, or it's like their cheat meal or whatever. Yeah. So that's really fun. And another thing with guest experience that we're seeing a lot of is just a focus on it. Yeah. People might be having more intimate weddings. I'm seeing a lot of smaller weddings, but they want to do more.
Yes, I have. I was gonna, I don't know if I wrote that down, but I was gonna write that down, like smaller weddings.
Yeah. They might not have 200 people, but they're doing 75 to 125, and they get to do more with it.
I was going to say, they get to, you know, bring in like a poet, or
we see like the hair,
the airbrushed hats.
Yes, the woman who does the art drawing, the live drawings and everything. Yeah. So you just get to do more when you have less, and I think that people might not understand how much the guests that you bring in is the cost to your wedding. So if you're doing a lot of guests, you have to anticipate the cost of your wedding. I don't think people understand that until you're like, oh, I need 15 centerpieces because I have 15
It makes
tables
sense when you
I have
explain it,
guests.
and because, you know, we obviously work in the industry, we get it. But if you've never planned your own wedding or really been behind the scenes of a wedding, you just don't. It's just not something you think of.
And you might be comparing it to when your parents got married or when your older sister got married or anything. In the past 5 to 7 years, it has gotten more expensive to do what you might see and what you might want.
Yes.
There's definitely ways to not do that. But I think, you know, with the goals that you see online and everything, and maybe what your inspiration is, you're like, okay, you might want to cut the guest list back so that you can have this beautiful bar installation or whatever.
Right. So another thing, because you brought up guests, that I've seen personally within like even the last year, and, you know, I think even moving forward, is fun dress codes, and not just like, oh, black tie, super formal. No, like wear all pink, or wear these 3 colors. And I love when people do that.
Yes,
I think it looks so cool.
I think it's an old school assumption, but people's wedding invitations are supposed to set the tone for the colors that you wear to the event. So for like a colorful invitation, you see like all of those colors, and one can assume you want to dress that way.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. Guest fashion has been huge
It's
lately.
so
Even advertised to us. Like I started getting a Newly box, which is like a rental box, and they have a whole section that's just wedding guest dresses.
It's so fun.
It is.
And it's become a big thing on TikTok. There's this one girl that I don't know her name because I don't actually follow her, but I always see her videos. She always posts cute clips of like different guests, dress codes and stuff and what
is she
to
like
wear.
A social media person or
kind of. I just don't know her name, but she does like, if you want to wear a short dress or if the dress code is first, like she shows different options, and it's just become such a thing. Like it's a wedding and you're seeing these people, some of these people for the first time, or some of these people you haven't seen in a while. Like you want to like
dress
have fun with it and like, and look good. And I love like when guests go all out. It's so fun.
It is. It's like a fashion show every time I go. I'm Google searching that dress because I want to wear it too.
But it really is like, what if you see like a bitch you don't like from high school that's unfortunately invited? Like you want to look good.
I want to look good. I'm just saying. Speaking of fashion, and this is kind of going back to florals too, wearable bouquets are definitely coming in.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple of times already, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
So by that I mean like handbag bouquets, basket bouquets.
Yes, I've seen the baskets.
Or even like a metal bracelet style bouquet.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's really cool. It goes over your arm. The metal itself like goes over your arm in a couple places, and then the flowers just kind of hang off of your arm.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And then you're not holding, this is so like niche, but if you become a bride and you know, that bouquet gets heavy. You were in a Pilates class for the rest of the day doing lightweight, a lot of lifting. And we have to end up holding, and I'm happy to, but we end up holding the bouquet a lot because you might not want it in every photo. You don't need to carry it around all of cocktail hour or whatever. But having it like as an install on your arm or around your wrist is so cool.
And then you can kind of like pose with it differently, because sometimes with the bouquet, you don't want to see like the bottom of the stems or, certain parts of the bouquet, the way, the florist brings it together. And so that's cool with the wrist or like the arm thing. You can like pose differently.
Or even like a metal ring handbag thing, and then the florals are down from that. I've seen it where they make like you can hold it. I think you sent the TikTok to me. I'm not sure. But you hold it like normal, and then whenever you're tired of it, you have this ring and you can hold it like a handbag.
So many times I've heard, even from the groom, because sometimes the groom like holds the bouquet. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's just so heavy."
Heavier than
I'm
I
like,
thought.
Yes, they can get like
especially
almost
if
10
they're
pounds.
like a draping. I know draping florals are really. There's a word for it, but draping florals are really popular because they're so dramatic and pretty and whimsical.
That's another. That's another trend.
Yeah, the
to transition into that is like the. I think I was gonna.
What kind of flower is that? I wish I knew. But basically, like,
is it wisteria or no? That like the green piece. Or
but same
sorry
vibe.
To the florists watching, they're probably like, "Oh my god, it's literally called this."
Amaranthus.
Is it?
Wait,
I have my phone. I could.
I just got it coming in. It's amaranthus.
Oh, okay.
There's multiple that drape, but that's probably
because in the past we've seen, and it's still a thing, and I still think any bouquet is beautiful. A lot of the tight bunched,
classic,
perfect, bouquet, and a lot of is like now we're seeing the draping and the loose and not so much symmetrical like what Mary Claire had. So pretty.
Or there's a lot of single flower florals.
Yes,
single flower foils. That's hard to say. But yeah, a lot of that. I love it. I think it's really cool, and it's alternative. And okay, so we're gonna end on our most controversial, or what I think is our most controversial take. And
depending on your,
okay,
depends.
It depends. You can do whatever you want, but I think this is pretty controversial because this thing has been in style for at least the last 15 years, and it's in our homes, on our bodies.
Like
everywhere.
I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
So it's just
Gold's going out. Gold is going out.
Which I never thought we would say that.
I would. I think it changes all the time. Remember when rose gold was everything? Everything and everywhere?
Yes.
People's engagement rings are rose gold because it was so popular. And they're like, oh, I'm stuck with it forever. Not that rose gold's ugly, but it's just not as popular as it used
I saw
to
a
be.
TikTok real quick of a girl. She was probably like 14, so she did not grow up in that era. And she posted a TikTok, guys, why don't we wear rose gold? It's literally pink gold. And someone said, you clearly did not.
You did not live through
grow up
2012.
in
But I think gold is going out and silver and chrome is coming in.
Oh, yeah.
White, gold, platinum, chrome, silver.
I love gold. Like, I'm wearing all gold.
And body-wise, I think it depends on your skin tone.
Yeah, but I think for a wedding, I do love silver, though.
I do.
I think it depends on the colors you use, the plates you have, everything. I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Metals person too, but I think we're going to see a lot less gold than we used to.
Yes, which I'm not necessarily opposed to. It's just crazy how
things change.
Yeah, because I remember it was a wedding last fall and we had gold. They had gold silverware or flatware, and I was thinking like, if I ever or when I have my future wedding eventually.
When's that?
I don't know. I have to find a boyfriend first. If you're single,
I'm listening to a wedding planning podcast.
Yeah. And they had gold silverware, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing gold when I get married. Like, I would never do silver, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, wait, I don't know what I know open to both.
It's so hard to be timeless because it changes so often. I can't wait to see how these trends pan out.
We'll have to talk.
We'll have to watch it again next year and see where we're at with everything.
I'm curious to see
how accurate
because again,
we are.
trends just change so much and new things pop up all the time. So I'm excited to see like what's popular in a year because it's probably going to be something that we're never expecting. Or
overall arc, just do whatever the hell you want, but
just have fun with it. It's
I
your
do
day.
like to see what becomes popular.
Yeah.
So, follow us on Instagram and all of the social media. Listen to our podcast on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere. And we'll see you next